Well, good morning, 7K world. Man, are we getting started? Here I am, 75, and I'm getting tired. I have to admit that for the first time. I'm starting to feel my age, but what we want to do is leave that legacy, that legacy of how everyone can achieve, how everyone can do this, how everyone, if they allow themselves, can succeed because they're at the right place at the right time with the right company and with the right group. And those are those magic elements, those magic things that come together. And we have that with the 7K model. And we have a company and an ownership that is committed to the long term and committed to the long-term survival of the corporation, 7K Metals. And I've created a system. It's 7 pieces of paper, and everybody knows about that, or should. And hopefully you train that, because that is the heart of the system. You allow people to grow. You allow people to understand that it takes 2 years to learn the skills, attitudes, and techniques. They're not born with them. Regardless of their amount of education or business experience, it just gives them a head start on some of the skills. But they don't have the attitudes and techniques most of the time. There are those that will have the attitude because they're pretty much successful at whatever they do. I call it the 3%ers, or the 4%ers. The old rule of 20% of the people do 80% of the work, and that's true. Throughout our lives, we've seen that. We've experienced that. Either you've been a leader or you've been a follower. But here, you can be a follower, a leader. That's pretty cool. Nowhere else is that opportunity available. And I show that through showing the comp plan, how people can accumulate hundreds of thousands of points or millions of points or tens of thousands of points in their counter. And then, as long as they're doing it, as long as they're staying involved, as long as they're continuing, and they don't let their own frustration, their own mind, their own attitude get in the way, they just keep plugging away at my 7 pieces of paper, the job description, always reaching out, always sharing. You never know. You're looking for people who are looking. You can't convince somebody against their will, because it's still it's still against their will. You may have convinced them, but it's still against their will to do it. And so let me share why I believe this so importantly. And I'm gonna do it by sharing a couple of screens. Some of you may have seen it, some of you may not. It was shown in Cancun. It was shown in the leadership call, Bronze and Above, that we had the first of the month. And they gave a quick glimpse of it. I'm pretty sure at the corporate call, when I have 3 Zooms on the same night, they all blend together to me. and so I'm going to show you a picture, and then we're going to have a little fun. We're going to relate it to a few trainings that I've done. I'm going to show you this 7K growth picture that Jason shared with the 7K leadership, and they call that Bronze and Above. They do that once a month. And so when you become a Bronze and you're invited, you'll get a link, and you can attend this leadership meeting with the co-founders and Jason and Blake and the executives of the company. But I want to share a few statistics in this process too, and I want to relate it to what I've done in several trainings of past. One is, let me give you an MBA in networking, and you can find that training and listen to it. But as you see, here's sales or growth. Now, they did not give the measure if this is dollars or if this is number of members, but they all correlate the same type pattern. But what you see is here is year one. And so if you look at a graph, then here's the units over here, dollars or memberships or whatever you want to have. And then here is time on this axis. And we're going to draw graphs in a minute. We're going to relate this. And here's your one. And look, we quadrupled growth from year one to year two. Now that's pretty significant. Didn't quite double growth from year two to year three, but that's normal. And then we almost doubled growth from year three to year four, but we're growing at a double-digit percentage, and that's great growth rates. All at the same time of expanding the company. Remember, we started day one with Roger Ball's money. He put up all the money, but he wanted it started right with an office. He did not want it started in a back office. He did not want it in a basement. They had leased 3 floors in a business building in Idaho Springs, and staffed it brought over an experienced customer service agent from one of his other businesses, Carrie. And so Carrie's been there since day one. She's still there. She's heads up the customer service in 7K. Now, of course, they have other customer support that they're bringing on and training, and constantly will have from here on out. And and hired a professional CEO, had a CFO, chief financial officer, also brought from one of his other businesses, most trusted person with funds and accounting, Terry. And she's still with 7K. She's still the comptroller. And they started out without a sale, without anything. So there's a lot of negative there. It's just money out, money out, money out. But of course, before you can buy and get it to be a dealer, you got to guarantee so many millions and millions of dollars of purchasing gold and silver bullion before you can buy direct from a dealer. And of course, Roger had that wherewithal. And so that was no problem. And he needs gold and silver just like everybody else. So there was really no loss in that position. You got to put your money somewhere. And it's just like we're faced with, just like we're reaching out to people and trying to educate them about gold and silver and the fiat dollar and the fact that they're printing more of it. And it's time we teach people what they haven't been taught all these years. Well, then here comes year 5. Now we're expanding in products, we're expanding in staff, we're expanding in everything. And after year 3, we all know that all the money was paid back to Roger Ball, and they purchased their 30,000 square foot global office. The end of that, and now here we are after 5 years, and the company's debt free. It's got everything paid for. It's got plenty of inventory, owns lots of exclusive agreements, have relationships with every mint in the world, has a relationship with Miles Standish. Well, we more than doubled the growth from year 4 to year 5. Well, if you draw a little line right through here and smooth this curve right through here, you'll see this kind of shape. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that shape. That's called, we are in the beginning phases of momentum growth in any company cycle. Okay, and so I'm gonna switch gears and get to my drawing board. I find it, and we're gonna have a little fun here for a second, if it'd be okay with everyone. I'm gonna take this and put it up here at the top, and let's have a little fun. That's good. Let's do some drawing. And I'm going to put a couple of graphs together, okay? And I'm going to try and kind of recreate one of them here, being the graph that we, oh, I need a little ink. There we go. Let's get this one. Okay, let's draw a little graph. And then let's draw another little graph over here. Do a side-by-side one so we can see what we're talking about. On both of these, on this is going to be dollars. Okay, we're going to use dollars as growth. And this is going to be time, and it's going to be years. Okay. Same thing as on both graphs. And this is time. Now, let's go ahead and replicate what they had up there on that screen, kind of as best we can. I may not be as really good in replicating that as and in year 5. And so that's year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. And that's what Jason shared with us, that this is 7K. Okay, 7K metals. Now, what I'm going to do on this graph over here, I'm going to give you a quick summary of that MBA program. And it's something I did before I ever got into network marketing. I did what I call a Harvard MBA case study of the entire network marketing, multi-level marketing industry from its inception in 1954 all the way to the date that I joined it. And I kind of keep up with that pretty good bit because I always like to know what's going on in the industry and the DSA. I use the DSA, Direct Sales Administration, for a lot of my information and statistics and things like that. And then the top 300 network marketing companies in the world. And they always maintain that list is always maintained. It's available for anyone. And 7K is going to be doing what a lot of companies have done in the past in that period of time. And I'm going to relate to my 7 steps, my 7 pieces of paper. One of them is that magazine called We Create Millionaires, Success Magazine front cover, and that's network marketing, that industry. Well, this would be true with any business, and so we're going to start a new business, and it doesn't matter if it's a traditional business, a network marketing business, or anything else. It normally has its formative years, Then it have part of what we call its growth curve. Then they have a momentum growth cycle. And then they have a stable growth cycle. And then they'll have death. Okay. I'm going to have to try and move this here and get out of my way. And you typically will break this down into a couple of phase growth. And this is called the formative or foundation phase of the business cycle. And that, of course, for companies that survive, that normally goes an average of about 7 years, but it, goes from, 3 to 10 years lifetime. If a company makes it past that 5-year and they're not deeply in debt, they normally survive this phase. Now, a lot of companies never get into this phase called momentum growth. But if a company does, and all the successful companies do, and this is what we call the momentum growth cycle. Okay. And the momentum growth cycle of a company, this is the stable growth cycle. And then the line that comes here after that is called death. Typical company that makes it past time. Now, momentum growth cycle, and these can overlap because this is a range. And so this range can be in here like 7K is doing. It's already in momentum growth before the average 7 year. Normally this is 7 years average. Okay. Some companies never get there. This cycle typically will last anywhere in a company's growth cycle, anywhere between 3 and 15 years. Now, why is it 15? Typical average momentum growth cycle for a company is about 10 years. If it is doing global business, international business, if it's not doing global business, then the average, it really is about half that, 5 years at long. Let's say the maximum. And so I don't want to confuse things with a whole bunch of numbers. And stable growth, now this can go anywhere between 10 to 50 years. Now, how fast this curve can go much, not so steep down. I just want to put everything on the curve. But in death of a company, that can be as quick as 1, and it can drag out to, 15, 20 years. So we're going to do 1 to 20. Now, if you'll kind of add these up and go to big side, you'll have 10, 25, 75, 95, about 100-year cycle. Very few companies ever last 100 years. Few have. And I'm going to mention one that you all know about, Sears. It was one of those companies that was a mainstay, but its death curve was almost dramatically, a very short period. When it started dying, it died within 5 years. Kmart, let me just bring some companies to mind. Montgomery Ward's, JCPenney's is still kind of lingering this death cycle out right now. It's about dead, but it's still lingering its death cycle out. I'm just giving you companies you know about or may have heard about before. Well, the same thing is in network marketing. Business is business is business. Now, the vast majority of network marketing, hundreds of network marketing companies are started up just about every year. And the vast majority of network marketing companies never make it past 18 months. In fact, many network marketing companies are started to go out of business. I mean, they intentionally start to go out of business. They're introducing their product to the marketplace through network marketing. It's the cheapest way to introduce your product, new product to the marketplace, because no commissions are ever paid until an actual sale is made. And you got people telling people about it. And so it's the most efficient, effective way of doing business in the world. Always has been. And many companies intentionally start their product and then transform that networking company into a traditional company and then market their product through the normal distribution modes, advertising and marketing, and they just shut down their traditional business, their regular business. Now, you have companies like Avon, Mary Kay, some of the companies that you've seen there. Now, many people think Amway was the first company in direct sales and network marketing. No, it was, oh, heck, I just forgot the name of the vitamin company. That's 75, see? But anyway, I'll think of it in a minute. But they were absolutely the first company that was in network marketing, and they're still alive today. And so you look at 1954, you had 46 years, then you add 22, we're in 22, that is 68 years. So the industry of network marketing is only 68 years old. It's not that old versus traditional businesses, but still a lot of companies in network marketing, the real mainstay, let's say the top 30. Some of them aren't 30 years old yet, the top 30. Some of them are less than 20 years old, the top 30 in direct sales. Now, reason I want to show you this, I want to show you this curve that's happening here. So if you just draw that line through this curve, and what you see is, do you see some similarities here? Well, 7K is established. It's not going away. And it's only in the USA, UK. Well, let's do Canada too, because it opened from the USA. We're open in all 50 states. First day we're open. Then we're open in Canada a little bit more in a year. And we open in the UK. And we open in Australia. Then they open in Singapore. Then they open in New Zealand. Then they open in Ireland. So we're only open in these 7 countries right now. But the only country that we're really doing any significant business with, because Canada's the only one we've been open with a little more than a year, and we're not open in all parts of Canada yet. We're not open in Montreal, Quebec County, Providence, because we have to convert everything to French and according to their standard. We've got enough to open in Canada, 7K did. And back here, when we really went over the hump and we started out with a product that anybody could get anywhere. And that was just a an MS-70 Silver Eagle. That was our only product that you could buy to give you a residual, and that was the backbone of the residual income, and that was the numismatic product that we had. Then we added the variety coin and the gold coin, okay? And so we had three. So we had three versions of that to be able. So we're expanding our product line, or expanding choice and availability. And then we co-labeled with NGC, 7K and NGC on the same label of all of our coins. Now we also have 7K and PCSG on the same coin. That's going to be a very important coin in the future, everybody. I'm going to tell you, because we were selling a lot of PCSG coins in year one of just first strike, first day of issue, those kind of things, or a particular MS-70 that was labeled for a specific purpose. And then we started having that relationship with NGC, and just at first informal, and then now formal, and almost exclusive. But PCSG, when 7K became the largest retailer of MS-70 Silver Eagles in the world, back here when we first started, in a very short period of time, the #1 retailer was kind of like you see Home Shopping Network. It was Coin Shopping Network on late night TV, and they sell 24/7. I think it's 24/7. I watched it for a while just to see products and things, but they'd sell that MS-70, which we were selling for $95 then, for $129. So, you know, they sold it for a lot more than we did. They didn't get the price of it, but they spent lots of dollars for those TV programs, and people bought it because it was advertised to them. So there were people out there to buy it. Only people that come in with these, well, I can buy it cheaper somewhere else, nobody else will pay you to buy it. You know, you've got to learn that people's objections are not what you should be listening to, or trying to, satisfy every objection. You'll be putting your priorities in the wrong place. Yeah, you want to be, you don't want to be obnoxious. You don't want to be rude. You want to maintain a relationship there, and you give our explanations, the things that we teach you, how to address these objections. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. I mean, they don't see what we see. Well, again, I'm just telling you, I know that coin is going to be, in my opinion, and I got a couple of them because I felt that same reason before, okay? And that was just an MS-70 Silver Eagle coin, but it had 7K logo with PCSG. So there aren't going to be many of those suckers around in the world. And I know a lot of future 7K people would want to have one of those coins, unless we do something else with PCSG in the future. And I don't know. But in the meantime, here we are co-labeled with the two most recognized and respected third-party numismatic coin validators in the world. NGC been in business, and both of them been in business about 38 years. You can look them up. And so To me, this is the biggest objection killer of all. These two companies' whole business is based on their reputation. And here they are co-labeling with a direct sales company. It's a new kind of company, a member direct marketing company, a company that is changing this networking space, the network marketing space, changing the precious metals space, and changing the numismatic market space. It's that innovative leader. That's what gives us this fact that we're going to do. So let's put 7K on this map right here. Okay. And so in terms of 7K, this would be year, and I'm going to do 7K here. Okay. We're going to do chart here. And so we're going to put this is 0 here for the chart and 10 here, right? It can be 3 to 10, but most companies fail is what I'm saying here. Most companies fail 18 months and they don't get the rest of this. Less in network marketing companies, the companies that make it 5 years and do not have and doesn't have a total catastrophe in debt situation at the end of 5 years, they have more than 80% probability of making it another 10 years. Yeah, maybe. But if they are not solid, a rock, I mean, they could close the next day. 7K is solid, more than solid. And the company management gave all that information. So let's be business minded. Let's compare business with business. I always say I'm not a network marketer, I'm a business person. Always have been. I've always approached network marketing as big business. It's I just didn't have to put 300 grand out for a franchise. You and I, if you got a business family pack, you put like $1,500 if you did it right. If you did it the other way, where you're just doing, that's 900, 499, 199, 199. If you're able, and that's what a married couple makes it easy to be able to do that. Okay, so here we are. We're going to put 7K here. We're already right here, everybody. This is really year 5 right there. Look what we're facing. Now, it looks like we're there already in this, but it's not. You got to understand this is a flattened curve over time, just like in our M1 money supply in our presentation. You'll see we've been printing up money since 1971, since it went off the gold standards. But it's when it really starts impacting, truly impacting, and that didn't start until the last 10 years. But you can see the curve is still kind of flat. Okay, so just an interpretation, here's 7K. Okay, here's what I say. Here's what I say. I think we're going to have a 15-year cycle. So I say this is going to be year 20 for 7K. And this is going to be year 70 for 7K. We got 82 more countries to open up. We have a full minimum of 15 years of global growth momentum. In addition to bailing out the marketplace, until we get a gold associate in every major city across the United States, we got so much more growth to go. It is pathetic. I said every major city across the United States. We don't have that. We're nowhere near that right now. And that's just the 50 US states. I don't even think we don't have a gold associate in many states, let alone in every major city. So how much growth do we have? We got that growth. Hey, a generation is what? About 22 years, right? Generation. Like, like the baby boomers, the Xers, the millennials, the Generation Y, Gen X, Gen Y. Every 20 years on average is a generation. Okay. I'm a baby boomer. I'm 46 to 64. That's what you call a baby boom generation. That was an 18-year generation. They had capped it at that. Well, they're going to need gold and silver just like we all do. This company has that perpetual ring or bell to it. And so when I say that 7K is going to be to the precious metals market, to gold and silver, and to the numismatic market, that's a collecting market, and part of that is stack and sell. 7K is going to be to the gold and silver market as Amazon was to the retail market, and it put out all these businesses. Oh yeah, copycats came along. There's already been copycats of 7K. And the very first copycats, all three of them dropped out. There's a few others, but copycats don't put together that sound base foundation upon which to build a future. They're just in for the short haul, for the copycat to get, and it's mainly the owners to get their money because they will not pay out what 7K does. They can't afford to. This is the message and a picture that I wanted to show everyone. And if you don't believe me about growth cycles, just check some things out yourself. Go to the Fortune 500. Look in there and see how many companies are still that are in the Fortune 500 today. You go back 100 years, how many were in the Fortune 500? Go back 50 years, how many were in the Fortune 500? Go back 10 years. And you're going to see this life cycle of companies. We're on the prefaces of 7Ks right here. Life cycle. And that means your businesses have infinity on the left, infinity on the right. So let's talk about that infinity situation. Let me go get another. Another concept, and I'm gonna address a couple of points on this board here today, this morning, when we, if I can get my whiteboard to come back up, there we go. And so, everybody has a counter, and this is you. Oh, I need a little ink, don't I? This is you when you join. Now, this is called what I call an income worksheet or planning worksheet, and it's got a left and right counter, and you are to personally sponsor someone on your right side, and that's your right personal one. That's your left personal one. I'm dyslexic today, sorry. Left personal one. And this is your right personal one. Okay. That makes you an associate then, and you're very happy. Okay. And that volume comes up here and here in that counter. And it does not go here and here. Same with renewals in the future. That volume, when you renew, goes only up. So you are on the left or right of someone. And let's say you were placed on the left side of somebody. So they placed you on their left team. So you went to the first available spot that was open on their far outside leg, just straight down until there was an open position. And that's where you went. And that's where you were placed. Okay. And so I want you to see when this person places a person here and it places a person here, that is this person, then they're an associate. Okay. But you, if you place the next person again on your left, they would go to first available spot, and let's put them right here in between here. And then that would be your left two. And then that person sponsored this person. Now, these have counters too. And so volume flows like this, and it goes to the counters right here, counters. Anything that happens down here goes all the way into that counter. That's how volume flows. Okay, this person sponsors a person on their left and right. And that person's a little square. And that person's a square, meaning they sponsored those people. Okay, you are left, right, you're putting them in. So maybe you sponsored another one and placed them here on your right side, that'd be right too. Okay. Let's go ahead and put a position here just to fill up the board, see what it's like. Okay, now I want you to notice the volume goes here and to the right. Volume goes here and to the left. The volume combines and goes here and goes to this counter. The volume coming up this side combines with the volume coming up on this side, goes up here and comes to this counter. So that's how volume flows. That's how points flow. Okay, now let's say this person sponsored this person. Well, same thing, that volume comes up to this person, this person, this person. This person, let's make them an asterisk. Whatever that looks like. Now that's an asterisk. That means who sponsored them. And now this person's still not an associate because they don't have one on their right. So let's say that person sponsored this person right here. Now that's an associate. This person's an associate. Okay. And now you, since you sponsored two here and two here, and you got an associate here and an associate here, are now copper. So you can make 1,000 per week, 2 cycles of 500. Or you can have some type of credit or earnings for anything between 500 and 1,000 if you have less than 1,000, but more than 500. So it's either rolls over because of leadership points into the next week, or it rolls into loyalty points that above 500 but less than 1,000. So I just went through a little synopsis. You'll have to refer to my training on cycles, and in some case, advanced training on cycles, leadership points, and loyalty points. And I want you to master those trainings because you'll master the comp plan. If you understand this basic that I just put here, and then those two short things. And then I got a step-by-step Hyatt Bills comp plan, explain it, how you go through and rank up. I've got that there too. And then if you'll concentrate on those 3 videos, you'll learn this comp plan by having the detailed comp plan downloaded and in front of you as you work again. And that's your job. That's part of your job description. Now, these things go to infinity. Here, these legs. And it's not just those legs. Every leg in your business goes to infinity. Every leg goes to infinity in your group, on your team. Where people are sponsoring people. Now, let's look at this person's counter so that y'all really kind of understand this. Let me get that so we have a better view of that. And we got a counter on this side too, by the way. And if this person in this business is really growing down here, left and right, I mean, it is growing down here. Lots of points are coming up here, going in its counter. And let's say they get 80,000 points, or 10,000 points, or 6,000 points. It's dollars. Doesn't matter. Over a period of time, it's going to really grow. Over a period of 5 years, you got a lot of bank there. Well, the main thing is, if you are staying in this, that 2-year period, you're going to earn a $500 check if you're buying at least that 20-point coin. Because in less than 2 years, you're going to have 450 points here from just buying your coin. If you never enroll someone. And you get to that space, you'll watch my training, you will enroll your first person on your left, and you will enroll your first person on your right to make you an associate, and you make a $500 check. And even if you had to pay for these as trial memberships for someone, you still come out positive ahead, and then you have an opportunity for someone to help you help see what you do and become part of your team. But you're better off actually enrolling someone. Okay. And that's what we want. We want people enrolling people. But you didn't have your control center. But if you ever get 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, maybe you didn't sponsor, maybe that person here sponsored this person, that person sponsored this person, that person sponsored a person, that person sponsored a person, that person sponsored a person, this person sponsored a person, and that person, that person right there started making that $500 check. They didn't do it all in 1 week, but they started making it. I mean, they started accumulating points. Well, you already made your first check. That thing went away, and now you got $1,000 coming up in a period of maybe a month. And you got bank here. And so all you have to do is buy some coins, you accumulate wealth, you earn income, and you have a chance to develop a $500 a week business for the rest of your life. That's the opportunity that we're providing. And we've got the company behind us And the key is, do you yourself understand and see the opportunity? There's the real point that I'm trying to make. So I'm going to share my screen one more time. I'm going to, yeah. And I'm going to try and bring this down back here. There we go. And I see that I forgot to do my mouse. I'm so sorry. I've got a little mouse thing that my mouse would show up, and maybe y'all didn't get to see it. But these are those 7 pieces of paper, because this is the most important point to get an agreement on when you first sign someone in, and you must do this. And make sure you give them that. And go through that paper with them. And then make sure they understand that what their job description is this right here. Always will stay the same. 10 years from now, that job description is the same thing. Here you're watching one video a day, every day, 5 days out of the week. That's all there is. And how you introduce the people, if you're doing 1 a day, if you're doing 2 a day, you're doing 5 a day, but this should not take the time. Only when somebody's interested does it take time, because we're giving them more information, we're following up, and we're getting our upline involved with us. So we have a team effort with them. And then we have a method of building that shows you the opportunity everyone has, even this person that never sponsored anyone. Or if you look at this as your business family pack, for those of you that are married, it's much more difficult for a single person, because you can have a personal membership and a company membership. That's it. Now, if you got a spouse, that provides that third, very easy. For a single person, you're going to have a parent or a grandparent or someone that is going to will that business to you to get your own business family back. And then, you know, the power of duplication will work for you in exponential expansion. Doesn't matter if it's 12 years or if it's 12 months or if it's 12 weeks, like it was with me in 1996. And then we've got the validity, the background, and I just gave you on the front end of this that this industry is a proven industry. Some people may have had bad experiences, because just because they had a bad experience doesn't mean that they shouldn't give themselves a shot with gold and silver, accumulate wealth, get 1099 tax benefits. It's working for so many other people. Give this one a shot, 2 years at least, while you're learning. And this, my friends, is the real key. Attitude and spending that 15 minutes in the Bible right after that. And belief. When you get these 3, you will succeed. When you internalize these 3 beliefs, you will succeed. I talked about income, and so I'm going to end this with the best thing of all. The fact that we get to provide the income disclosure with 7K, and we should want to do this. Do you know why? Because the statement that they give us just to share on that income disclosure is phenomenal. That's what I look at when I'm no, heck, I thought I could pull it up really quick. Let me get it for you. because I want to read it that the company gave us. And I want to read it verbatim for you because I want you to be able to use this, because I'm going to hit you with some of those statistics we were talking about at Direct Sales and Associates. In direct sales, I've been around for, like I said, for 68 years. Shackley, by the way, is the name of the company. Shackley, the first company in 1954. Okay, and not Amway. The average income by all people in direct sales, doing direct sales company, is $2.15 a year. $2.15 a year. But more importantly, the top 10% of everyone in network marketing, top 10% earners earn less than $2,000 a year. That's the top 10%. Well, yes, they've had maybe some bad experiences, but they know nothing about what we're doing with 7K, and you can't afford to let them miss out on this opportunity with 7K, okay? Because what they're going to get, let me put it up, got it right here, I'll pull it up. Yeah, I thought it was. But anyway, I'm gonna ad lib it then, okay? And I'm gonna pull it off here. But the 7K share plan during the period of October 1, 2020 to September 30th, 83.37% of all associates earned $554. And we make 30, 40 new associates a week now, at minimum or more. And that's having one on the left and one on the right. And then they rank up and say they weren't an associate that long to copper. But the average copper makes $1,753. And a person, and that's 11.95% of our members are coppers. Well, we already beat the top 10% of all network marketing. Everything is on our side. It's just learning how to use all this information and how to just bring it down. And this is the point that I wanted to share with everyone. And the fact that if you really want duplication and stickability and partner, and when it boils down to what do you need, you just need one good partner on your left, one good partner on your right, and you can go all the way to gold. That's 7,000 a week, just with one. Well, you got to have a second one, a pretty good partner, if you want to go to executive goal, because you got to have a goal on your left and goal on your right. And you also have to have a personally sponsored bronze on your left and right, in addition to that one good partner you got on your right. And then to be presidential, that has to be an executive on your left, an executive goal on your right, and a silver personally sponsored. And that's presidential. And then we'll see what the next rank's going to be, because we all know there's going to be a new one. Okay. And so I'll leave you with the income disclosure on the screen, and understand that this is truly the opportunity of a lifetime. And what one is really doing is being a force for good in the world to others financially. And we're that force of good, taking that good news around the world about how people can truly kind of take charge of their financial status and position and security, and without virtually no risk, and join you in that quest of financial freedom. That's a good thing to work for. Because when I became debt-free, not only did my life change, but my entire family's life changed. Every morning I woke up, the sky was bluer, the air was fresher, the grass was greener, the water was bluer. To be debt-free and to not have to worry about where the money's going to come from to pay the bills is something that's almost indescribable to share with someone else until you attain it, and you will know what I mean. And I want that for each and every one of you. And for you who may be seeing this for the first time, that's what the person who shared this with you wants for you too. Be all you can be. Be all God intended you to be. And have the financial security you deserve. I look forward to seeing you all at every event of 7K. I thank you for your time, and I thank you for your attention. Y'all are just wonderful partners to be with.